the terrific organizers, the steering committee, the conveners who pulled this rowdy bunch together here for the Church of Populist Revelation and Redemption here this morning. While we're gathered. And you're going to be hearing from my longtime friend, political cohort, Mac Martinez, in just a little bit. He's on one of our state steering committee members, helping to pull this whole thing together. But before I go ahead, I want to recognize somebody who's one of the greatest political leaders, progressive political leaders we've ever had in our state, and that is Sissy Farrington. She's always there, always with us, and it's great to be back here with you Gulf Coast area revolutionaries as we huddle here to in this great labor temple. And let's thank IBEW for allowing this rowdy bunch back in here. And we attempt to organize this progressive populist people's movement to bring democracy to Texas. Wouldn't that be something? You know, Patti Smith, the great rocker, she has that anthem, people have the power to dream, to rule, to wrestle the world from fools. Well, let's do it. That's what we're about. Don't just dream about little d democracy in Texas. Let's wrestle the fools and create our own democracy. We'll take on the Abbotts and Patricks and Cruz and Goofy, Sleepy, Dopey, Curly, and Moe that are now in charge of our politics. A whole bunch of them, you know, they're as confused as goats on AstroTurf when it comes to understanding what a government ought to be and who it ought to represent. And here they come now at a national level, and have already done it here at the state level, to take away even the small benefit that working class and poor people have that we got from Obamacare. They say, we're going to fix Obamacare. Of course, they mean fix in the same way your veterinarian means fix. Views on that concept, check with your dog when you get home. Now we're going to get Trump care. It's going to raise our premiums, cut benefits, and eliminate coverage for millions of people. I mean, they can't even do wrong right. So we've got a government in Austin and in Washington that's not just plutocratic and autocratic. It actually is a kakistocracy. Ever heard of that word? Kakistocracy. Look it up. It's government by the very worst people in society. And if you look at that bunch that Trump has brought in, you see that. And you can look at the bunch in Austin, you see it very vivid. Well, my old Aunt Eula was a farmer up in northeast Texas, in the Bonham area. And in the 1940s, I was just a boy, but something big happened up there, and it was that the New Deal brought in rural electrification. And that was a big deal for them. It meant that my aunt and uncle were able to bring, to put a pump, an electric pump, by the creek and bring water into the house for the first time ever. So one day I was there, and there was some troubled, murky water coming out of the faucet, and the men were standing around looking at it and scratching their butts, saying, I don't know, what do you think it is? And my aunt turned to me and said, Jim, the water won't ever clear up till we get the hogs out of the creek. Now, right there's our problem, isn't it? The hogs are in the creek, and they're fouling our environmental, our political waters. You don't get a hog out of the creek by saying, here, hog, here, hog. You got to put your shoulders to it and shove it out of the creek. And that is the purpose of our revolution, Texas. That is what we're going to do. We're going to organize and mobilize grassroots Texans and to run campaigns, run candidates in every part of our state to win those races, and then to govern on the basis of the issues, the Bernie-style issues that we are putting forward. This is not an issue group. This is not a debating society. It's not a third party or a front for any party. It is an independent, progressive, aggressive political movement of, by, and for workaday people. That's what our revolution is. We're actually going to displace the corporate politicos of both parties who protect the powers that be in order to maintain the status quo. And as a farmer told me out of West Texas years ago, he said, Hightower, the status quo is Latin for the mess we're in. And so we've had enough of that. I grew up in a little town, Denison, Texas, way up north on the Oklahoma border. I was a small guy in a small town, so we had our share of fisticuffs and that sort of thing going on. I learned early on, you should never hit a man with glasses. You should use something much heavier. And the heaviest thing that we have is you. Ordinary workaday people to stand up and do what democracy is actually supposed to be about, and that is us governing ourselves, to be a self-governing people. So we're going to go door to door, we're going to go precinct to precinct, day in and day out, organizing everywhere in our state. People are excited about this. I've talked to some of you, and I can feel it here. But every place we've been, we've organized the Dallas area, the Austin, Central Texas area. San Antonio's coming up next week. Been out, but not just the cities. Lubbock has been organized. I don't know if you know this, when the rebellion came against Trump's Muslim immigration ban, and people flocked to the airports around the country. They talked about National Airport in Washington, they talked about LaGuardia in New York, but they didn't talk about Lubbock. Lubbock had 400 people show up at the airport out there. Last weekend I was in Tyler, Texas. Our East Texas chapter has gotten organized up there, and they are pumped up and go. Had more than 120 people turned out for that organizing meeting. That's a lot of people up there. But they're both the Lubbock area and Tyler area. They say no, the Democratic Party never comes out here to us. Nobody comes out here to talk to us, and we don't have to be a red area. That there are people here who are really blue. That we are a blue majority. But we've got to reach out to them and organize and build. So that's what we're going to do in the red areas, particularly in the rural areas as well. They're excited because we're not waiting on the politicians. We're going to grow our own politicians. Here's one right here, Mike Floyd. Where are you, Mike? Running for Pearland School Board, 18 years old. And people are excited that we're not just playing defense. We're going to go on the offense. We're going to put our Bernie-style progressive program forward. Everything from health care to education to the free tuition and college, state college education. We're going to put things like the pipeliners that use the eminent domain power of the state that's just given by rote to corporations to run roughshod over people. We've got a bunch of conservatives in this state who are PO'd about that, and they're being a part of this effort that we're going to make. We're going to take on the legislature and the governor for preempting local democracy all across our state. And why are we letting them set the agenda? We're going to set the agenda ourselves. As George Bernard Shaw said about 100 years ago, said, you don't make progress by standing on guard, but by attacking and getting well hammered yourself. Now, the fact that I used to be 6'5" will give you some idea of some fights that I've been in, but we're ready to get this thing going. And in fact, we will have, within a couple of weeks, we'll have all 11 regions that this state has been divided into with their steering committees in place. Then we're going to call a statewide work session up in Austin, probably mid-April to early May, somewhere in that period. We're not going to get in the way of the local elections, but somewhere in that period, where a couple of delegates from each of the regions, y'all will choose who those are, will come in to Austin, and we're going to set down a statewide action agenda. You will be able to set your own action agenda for this region. We're going to have a statewide agenda that we'll put forward for this year. We're going to go through the endorsement process for candidates. We're going to work on outreach for people. For example, Mike Floyd there in high school, we ought to have a chapter in every high school in this region. Those kids are ready to go. Some of them are 14, 15, 16 years of age, but by the next presidential election, they will be voting. So we need to begin to move them in now, not as an adjunct to our group, but as central to our group. Give them things to do. Take responsibility. And that's what we're going to have all sorts of workshops, including workshops on how to raise money We got to raise our own money. That's why it's called Our Revolution. It's not going to be called ExxonMobil Revolution. It's going to be Our Revolution. That means we have to pay for it, but putting in a little bit every time that we possibly can, passing that bucket, passing the hat, getting it done, putting a little change together, just as Bernie did. You know, with that small donor program that he ran, raised what was it, 120 million, something more than that, I think, with an average donation of $27. So we're going to have a category called a Bernie. You can give a Bernie $27 and be a part of Our Revolution's funding. We'll do trainings, all kinds of trainings that you might need, candidate, campaign managers, all that sort of stuff, door to door, how to do outreach. How to speak. We can enlist some high school and college speech teachers to create our own speakers bureaus that just go out day in and day out around this region here, talking to high schools, talking to civic clubs, talking to churches, talking to unions, talking to anybody we can find to let us come in and talk to them. That's the way we build a movement. Then we're going to make a public announcement about that same time, out of that meeting, that here we are, that Our Revolution Texas is now organized statewide, and we have a basic agenda, and we are on the move. So, and we will have a statewide announcement of that press conference in Austin, but we'll also ask that y'all put one together for the Houston region, the Gulf Coast region here, and we'll do it in regions all throughout our state. I know a lot of people, the cynics and the corporatists and the centrists say, oh, you can't do this, you can get people together to do something. You can't beat the corporations. They got all the money, they got all the media, they got all the politicians. Well, there's a friend of mine who's been a pioneer in the organic movement put it, he said, Hightower, those who say it can't be done should not interrupt those who are doing it. That would be you. Thank you for what you're doing. Let's go.